is.
You think there's going to be that number, but you
Yeah.
ignore the actual number coming in.
Yeah. To continuity, tend to perceive things as possible with a continuous pattern rather than a broken up pattern. Complex.
Oh, it's continuity, what you were saying. You said like if you're on a road and there's like a little hill and then it comes and you can see the rest of the, but you don't see the slope down. In your mind, you kind of create the whole road
Yeah.
even if you don't see it.
Continuity, yeah.
Yeah, you
Here-
won't believe that it's.
Here's our examples. Do you see how we're grouping those? That's Gestalt psychology. Those are just dots, but they're lines because of how they're spaced. We're making those into squares, they're just circles, but it's because of the coloring. We're closing those as for continuity principle, like it continues. And then the common region, because of the orange boxes, we're classifying them differently. It's really 6 stars and 6 circles, but not really because of the classification. Does that help give you guys some clarity on that?
Can you explain continuity a little bit more, please?
So you see, like the figure on the left is being made up of 2 lines, A to B and C to D. Then we already see this figure made up of lines A to D. Like we see this and this instead of this and this because of how these are together. Because this is that, and this is that, but because that's the continuity we want.
You're not expecting the AD, you're expecting an AB.
Yeah, or the AC, or
Yeah.
you're expecting that. That's continuity. Does that make
So
sense?
Could you find, let's say, for example, continuity in geometry? When
You
you
might.
look at like the triangles, you know how like the lines be like, oh, what's the thing of like A through C and D and like A or D? Or am I just like getting ahead of myself?
Let's see.
I'd have to see it. I have to see it. I think I know what you're talking about. Like, you're more likely connected if it makes sense. So, I think you're right. I just want to. I probably want to see it like on paper, with the triangle. Like, yeah.
I wonder if it's the same like in a roller coaster. People, when you go, it's fast, but somehow the roller coasters are designed to give you an idea where it's gonna turn, but it actually turn the other way, and kind of that's what gives you the excitement because you don't really know what's gonna happen, even though you know the path.
So, excitement and anxiety are identical physiologically. So, what was that?
Why is one worse for you?
Is how you interpret it. So like the roller coaster, you're right. It's the unexpected that gives you excitement. I'm a downhill skier. I absolutely love double, triple, and black diamonds where the threat of death is real. As soon as I get to the top of the hill, I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck did I just do? And then I ski down, and then I'm like, oh, that was awesome. I'm going again.
So kind of like skydiving.
Yeah, so they're the same. Like, I was at Great America with some friends, Six Flags, right before it got cold, and their kids are getting on the roller coasters. I'm like, no, I'm good. And they're like, you have your doctorate in psychology. You don't understand hierarchy of fear? Like, you don't understand systematic desensitization? Some educated friends, but they don't have their same education, but they're giving me a bunch of shit. And their kids that are way younger getting on the scary roller coasters.
Yeah, like when parents are like, oh, look at him, he's
So
7 years
brave.
old.
So I got on 1 or 2, and then 3 or 4. And we did this Friday night till they closed, and then all day Saturday. By the end of the day Saturday, I was going on the Batman upside down. And I was experiencing the thrill rather than the fear. But you're right, it's the unexpected. But even like, some of you might have fear of this, like public speaking.
I feel like
I don't anymore, I used to.
piggyback up what we were just talking about. But I don't know why, and like you're like you said, it's how you interpret it, like anxiety and excitement.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm always anxious. But like when the first time I went to Six Flags, this is the first time I ever rode a roller coaster. I was more excited to do it for the first time than I was being like, oh my god, like what if it breaks down and this is that. But like anything else, I'm very anxious for, and it's a different feeling. I feel one in my stomach and I feel one in my chest.
It's physiologically identical, though. It's just your interpretation. Just like the excitement you have when you're going to hang out and spend time with your boyfriend or your wife, like that's the same as anxiety physiologically. It's just how you're interpreting it. So you might have a sensation in the stomach or the chest. I get that. But the chemicals that are responsible for that, they're identical.
So like
You can trick yourself. You can be like, I'm not anxious, I'm excited. But you got to tell yourself that over and over again and change the wiring.
But what fuels the feeling? Because I did paragliding once, and I was, while on the floor, I was excited that okay, this is gonna happen. Like the little fear and stuff. The moment we ran and we actually flew, I felt the excitement the first couple seconds. Like I sit down and we're looking at the whole scenery and everything. But then I was just like, when are we going down? Like I don't. This is not more thriller. There's no more thrill about this. I just want to go down because I feel like every second we spend here is more risk than benefit. Like it lost the power right away with a couple seconds right there.
Yeah.
So what fuels the actual feeling?
You were thinking about it. So when you have emotion, you have the affective component, the behavioral component, and the cognitive component. So the affective component is how you feel. The behavioral component is like what you do, and the cognition is how you think about it. So you were thinking about it, then it was affecting how you felt.
Yeah.
Because you're probably overanalyzing. Like I could still fall, right?
Exactly.
Like that's fair. I can still fall. These are examples. So like linear, do you see all the lines go in like that? This would be the texture gradient. These look bigger. The haze here, that's the aerial atmospheric perspective. And the relative size is very similar to the gradient that we're seeing things in 3 dimensions. So we have binocular cues of perceiving depth based on both eyes' convergence and binocular disparity. Your eyes converge or diverge from the image, and binocular disparity, your eyes are several centimeters apart, which is why there's a blind spot, which is why you see 2 different images. And then your brain puts them together. And your brain usually sees the most clear image. Like if you wear one contact, Victoria,
I've done that before.
you'll see the clear image unless you cover your eye.
And
That's
one of your
not.
eyes also looks bigger than the other one.
Yeah, but your brain will give you the clear image.
Well, I lost one of this.
I mean, if you're just like looking here, then maybe it's just but I'm saying if you're just looking straight ahead,
Oh.
or if you ever, it's happened to me, I'd wear a contact and I'm driving. I wear contacts too. It depends on time and ease. I know having them all the time is bad for the eyes, so I try to you want to be careful, or get
Really bad vision.
or get the dailies. You just don't want them in all the time, or sleeping in them because it can cause damage to the
I
eye.
have monthly ones.
Oh,
Yeah. It's high vision.
but you take them out at night.
Yes, of course.
Oh yeah, then that's fine.
Yeah.
You just don't want them in all the time.
So when I say that, I remember I was at work once, many years ago, and somehow I don't know how, I lost one of my glasses, and I felt like
Contact.
something was weird.
Yeah.
But I couldn't tell, and then I just said, I did this, and it went all the way to my eye, and said, I lost one of my glasses. Like, how did I know that something was off, yet I couldn't really say
What it was.
that I missed one glass.
Yeah.
It's not. I think we talked about that a couple of weeks ago. You said that sometimes it's like the perception, like when it's not the threshold. It's not the absolute threshold. It's the other one you mentioned that it's like it's so unperceivable that somebody else has to tell you.
Subliminal?
Subliminal.
Subliminal. Like the Wendy's, like how you said, there was mom in her little collar.
It's like you knew but you didn't know. That
Exactly.
feels like subliminal or sleeper
Because
effect.
I know something was off, but I couldn't say right away. Oh, I'm missing one glass.
Yeah. That's your binocular disparity. So convergence and divergence to show you how close the image is, basically. So we have some visual illusions coming up. The Hermann grid is possibly due to the response of the primary visual cortex and the Mueller-Lyer illusion, the illusion of line length that is distorted by inward turning or outward turning lines, causing lines of equal length to appear different. I think the next slide is literally both of those back to back. This just explains what it is. But your perception is reality. Whether you're talking about abstractly or concretely, like how you believe about the world, how you think something is. Also, like so the brain typically gives you the most clear image. But I've had the contact thing. And they don't actually ever go behind your eye. You might think that happens in your head, but the eyes don't. The eyes don't allow it. It can be stuck way up here, and you got to like dig it out. And I've had contacts that have been like underneath the eyelid for like a week or something, and I couldn't seem to get the thing out, and then eventually worked its way out. But they don't go behind your eyeball ever. Like that's not possible with the membranes. You might think that happens, but it never will.
I hate when my family tells me that like it's gonna get stuck behind you. I'm like,
No.
no, it's not. That's literally not possible.
No, it's literally not possible. Like I was literally at the eye doctor semi-recently, and that's not possible.
That eye is sealed over there.
Yeah.
I used to think that, oh my god, mine are gonna get stuck behind my eyes because one time I fell asleep with my contacts on.
No.
And it burned, and I was like,
That's what
are
it
they still
happened.
on? Like I couldn't
Yeah.
see them. They were so dry. I couldn't feel them.
Yeah.
Stuck.
I have like friends who wear contact lenses too, and when they fall asleep in them, like accidentally, first their eyes get red, but mine have never gotten like that ever before.
Yeah,
Like, I wake up with them dry, but they're never like irritated or anything.
it's probably not going to happen forever.
Okay, I'm not gonna do it.
Like, and I'm not. Don't think I'm like any means like coming at you or scolding you. Just like, eventually your eyes will be like, please don't do this to me, and now I'm going to be red. Like,
Yeah.
it probably won't happen forever. You guys see anything going on at the intersections?
Just like moving dots.
Now look directly at the intersection.
It looks like it.
Goes away.
Yeah.
Look at just the thing, and then focus right on an intersection, and then it's white.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
It just looks like it,
Yeah.
it gets bigger than the other line, than
Yeah.
the other spaces.
Yeah. Which line's longer?
They are the same.
They're the same, but I thought that one was longer.
Yeah, but that one looks longer to you visually.
Yeah.
We have the moon illusion. The moon on the horizon appears to be larger than the moon in the sky. This is based on the apparent distance hypothesis. It's,
You know that it's not that big.
it looks way larger when it's closer to the ground.
Oh.
That's literally what it is. Autokinetic effect. If I had a flashlight and we blacked out all of the lights and the projector wasn't on, the lights weren't on, and the only reference point you had, it would look like it's moving around at night. That's the autokinetic effect. Stroboscopic motion. To this day, if you watch TV, it's a bunch of pictures with sound. It's frames, and it looks like movement, yeah, just like cartoons. Phi phenomenon, if you Christmas, where they turn one light on at a time and then off, looks like it moves around the house. That's Phi phenomenon.
Oh yeah, when you're in a big building and you turn on the light, it looks like. When you turn it on, like
Yeah.
if you're in a warehouse,
Yeah,
technically all the lights go on at the same time. It's just like you turn in one
yeah.
big circle, but for you, those closer to you seems to light up earlier. But it's the speed of light. It's not real yet.
Yeah. It's 186,000 miles per second.
Yeah, there's no way that your eyes can see
Yeah.
the actual.
I'm going to show you the rotating snakes and the enigma in a second. Remember what I said about microsaccades? Remember that from last week? The eye muscles move in the back of your eye at all times to prevent you from getting basically like a screen burned in to your, like whatever you're all seeing being burned into your brain. I'm going to show you a still image that's going to move and you're going to be like, why is it moving? Microsaccades. Then we're going to talk about consciousness and drugs and hypnosis. Usually an undergrad favorite that's coming up. Anything happening for you guys? We got it for a few seconds. They're moving. That proves the idea of microsaccades. Because that's a still image. And we have this one. Probably moving a little bit for you. But not like the other one probably. Yeah. We have a perceptual set, perceptual expectancy, the tendency to perceive things a certain way because of previous experience or expectations that influences the perceptions. Like I used to work somewhere, and whenever the manager had to talk to you, it was always negative. Then I worked somewhere for like a year and a half, and the first year and a half, I would get like anxiety to talk to the manager, and 95% of the time it was positive the manager was talking to you. It was a perceptual set. They would never talk to you and give you positive feedback. It was always negative, so I just expected it at the next place. Top-down processing, use of pre-existing knowledge to organize individual features into a unified whole.
Can you go like, can you explain that more?
So you would think about what's something that you would study that you would know? Like, we can think about like science, biology, math, putting it together, kind of like scaffolding, like building on, like one thing after another, to put it all together. I don't know if I'm explaining it well.
Could like an example be kind of like how like my speech class and this class overlap with like some of the same things we
Yeah,
learn in
there's
order
some
to
overlap
be,
between
like a better speaker?
Yeah, there's some stuff between communication or speech. I'm not sure what it is with speech.
It's the same thing, speech and communication.
Communication versus psych. There's some overlap between the two, so you might put the two concepts together to have like a more unified picture of stuff.
But what about the process of learning math? Like as a kid, you start learning different processes. You know, arithmetic,
Yeah.
plus and minus and division. And
Right.
then you learn algebra. So, but if you become an engineer, you use all that at once. You start to do, for example, you see an overpass. That's actually the derivative, the integral of the line of the road. You know, like you elevate.
Oh.
So you're using all those things from the beginning. You didn't forget about adding and subtracting, but you use that on top of other knowledge that you skip. Like it's like increasing knowledge.
It might be bottom up. I have another term on the next slide. It might be what you're saying. I think it might be, but I don't have the engineering degree. I'm gonna wait for the other folks because there's people writing. But I think the next term might.
Maybe closer.
What?
Maybe closer to.
See what you're, yeah. Because you have the engineering degree, so you could tell me is it top down or bottom up based on the definitions. It's a second degree, right?
Yes. I went into for engineering this.
What? Oh, wow. So we're gonna have this so far before I move on. Are you guys still writing? Good. No? Okay. So is it this bottom up processing?
Smaller fixture to build up complete perception.
As an engineer, would you say it's more of the first one?
I think it's more of the first one because it's the analysis. Where you don't say, oh, this include math. No, you know, because you know math, you can go to like, because you know the simple steps, you're able to build up.
Okay.
This, I think, it looks like it's the other way around. Like, and I guess you can use it too. Like, oh, you see a house, or you understand that house must have a foundation.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh.
Thank you, because I just clicked for Jade.
But it's
Yeah.
because I need to
Kate,
apply it to
for
real
Kate,
life
yeah,
things so
yeah.
that I can remember them.
Yeah.
Yeah, the foundation is a small part compared to the whole house, but because you know it is a house, if it's well built, it has a foundation.
Right. Well, it's so, yeah.
That's good. I think I retain information better if I can apply it to real life.
Okay.
So that's why I asked a lot of questions.
I haven't been pretty good about recording. I haven't been really good about posting, but I can post some stuff to either YouTube or into Canvas. I think I've recorded nearly every lecture so far. So if you wanted to hear it again, Kate, or anybody else, you could. But I think it's just been audio. I can't say it's always been the slides.
Where can I find it?
I need to post it. But I can post it. And if I don't post it soon, like between now and the weekend, you guys could totally give me grief about it or bug me about it. It'd be fun. You wouldn't be bugging me. Today's Monday. Monday's late. I could probably post it Tuesday or Thursday pretty easily. So if you don't see it posted by like Tuesday, you could ask me on Wednesday, so I'd post it on Thursday. It's not that I couldn't post it tonight. It's just I have to drive about an hour when I get off work. I'm probably just going to bed or doing some minor admin going to sleep.
You don't stress.
No?
It's not like a common like feeling now.
No, why would I have stress?
I don't know, just 'cause like around like I've always thought that teachers just stress. Like, that's
I have
just
almost no
not-
stress.
like, that's just so much to do, all this and that. But
So I automate grading with over 50% of the classes, so that helps. I save all my material, and I save all the recordings, so I don't have a lot of prep. You have to just be present and
you
talk
set
to you.
yourself up for success.
So up for success. And I like what I do. It feels like play. I don't feel like I've been working 12 hours today. I don't feel like that at all.
Because
And
you
I-
pay to do what you love, so you feel like you
Yeah.
never feel like you're working.
And I have multiple schools paying me, so I don't really stress out about paying my bills. If I had one school, I probably would be stressed because one school would be barely enough. Might not be enough, one school. Because the profession's been undervalued for centuries
Yeah.
because it was dominated by women,
That's
which is
great.
super patriarchal and not cool, but that's the driver. Is that, can I see anything down there? Is that a problem?
I see that I just creating shapes for their lines missing.
Yeah.
I just don't like it.
Okay. All right. That's all right. Let's move on to consciousness. Should be this one. Oh, that's B. Come on. That's A. Perfect. It's a little more Socratic. Enable. Lay. So consciousness is a series of channels. Consciousness is your awareness of everything going on around you and inside your head at the same time. But if we think about it as a series of channels, how might you define consciousness? If you're not sure, that can simmer. We're going to walk being aware. We're talking about different types of consciousness momentarily. There's more than one type.
Is it lecture A or lecture B?
Lecture A. And generally it runs in concert with it. Sometimes we go a little bit ahead or a little behind, but the senses of the longer lecture, these are consciousness A and B, but they're shorter. There's activities built into these that you guys usually break out into groups and richer understanding. We're talking about consciousness right now in sleep as much as we can, till about time or a little bit before, and then we probably won't get through both of them today, but they are pretty short. There's not a lot of information on them.
Awareness and arousal.
Yeah, and we say arousal has to do with the brain being aroused, like the brain looking at stimuli.
Oh, but yeah, but
But you're right. You're totally right. Awareness and arousal, like that stimulus, that stimuli.
But the book was saying that the arousal is a physiological
It is.
state,
Yeah.
but when you say awareness is a subjective, psychological
Mm-hmm.
definition of the state of the mind.
Yeah, like how aware are you?
Like, are you aware that you're breathing? You know, like,
If you stop and think about it, you are, but it's involuntary.
but it's involuntary. Like, if you're alive, you're breathing. I mean, it's a fact, right?
Go back, guys, or it's okay. You okay? So, like waking consciousness, like you're clear and organizing your thoughts. Altered states of consciousness. There's a shift or quality in the pattern of your mental activity. What would be some examples of waking and/or altered consciousness? Examples.
Dementia.
Take that, sure. Safe zone, guys. There's other ones. Dementia's one of them. Who's gonna say it?
Could it be like schizophrenia?
Sure.
Oh, drugs.
Drugs, yeah. Alcohol, drugs, alternate state of consciousness, anything, altered selectivity. That's correct for what we're talking
So,
about.
I have a question actually. So I've talked with some of my old friends. They would tell me I can't focus if I don't smoke weed. Like, is that possible?
So it affects people differently. Some people are very successful.
Because some people
With-
are like proactive. Like some
It's
people-
probably them regulating ADHD. That's probably what it is.
Because I'm not gonna lie, like back in high school when I was like, I was the people. Like I was the people. who I did that. But like I was hyper focused and I could get everything done.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I
But
really.
is it the same thing? Like, is that self?
That could be self-fulfilling prophecy.
Exactly.
It affects everybody differently. Someone, I mean, like, there's a case of a waitress that I met through a group of friends who, like, she was high all the time, and this was in Wisconsin before it was as liberal as it is today, and her boss caught her smoking weed on the property. He's like, I'm not going to fire you, but that's not cool, and I don't want you coming to work high. You're my best waitress I have. So to your point, Kate, the next week she was the most horrible waitress ever sober, and her boss pulled her aside and said, please smoke weed and don't let me ever let you see you doing it, because you're way happier and better at your job when you're high. So like, that's an intellectual answer.
To
Like,
piggyback, I guess, off of that exactly, when I was in high school, I did, like, I used to smoke in my, like, junior year. Yeah. In my junior, senior year, but I stopped because in my mind I was like, I'm gonna see if I can do this without it. Because I thought it was just me trying to, like, manipulate myself, thinking that I can only be smart and
When you're high.
focused when I'm high. So when I stopped, obviously, like, you kind of feel like, oh my god, like, but like I paid attention to everything else. Like I couldn't focus on one thing. Yeah, it was weird.
So it depends on what it does. I mean, marijuana, you have to be careful because there are some side effects. Like, if you do it at a young age before your brain's fully developed, it can make the hippocampi smaller, which can affect memory.
Yeah.
That's a concern.
Wow.
And there are anything with smoke in the lungs would be concerning for the lungs. And there's some other side effects, like you might eat a bunch of food or simply pass out. I mean, there's that too.
Munchies are real.
Munchies are real. But no one robs a bank on marijuana, because if you have a bunch of people sitting around and they're all high on marijuana, talk about robbing a bank, they're going to do it tomorrow. They're not going to do it today. So. Although the CBD might be a COVID blocker, CBD has been found to get rid of COVID. There were 2 studies with the National Institution of Health, not THC, CBD, which is one of the ways to kill COVID. Just saying. They injected COVID in people's lungs, and they gave one group CBD, which is legal in all 50 states. Doesn't make anybody high. THC does, or the two together, or all the stuff together, because what's known as the entourage effect. You start removing and extracting stuff, it doesn't work. The people that had CBD in their lungs were injected with CBD and COVID in their lungs had mild or no symptoms, and the people that had no CBD got really sick. So CBD there's been 2 studies by the National Institution of Health in the U.S. at the federal level. It's controversial, but it might be a CBD blocker. And then I have people that tell me, oh, I know all these people that were stoners that were high during whole COVID and they never had COVID. Anecdotally, that kind of makes sense because they would have had a bunch of CBD. Because CBD is one of the components. It just doesn't make anybody high. It relaxes the muscles. So psychology cares more about addictions or like impairment. Like,
I think I stopped back then because I feel like I was getting too reliant on it for my schoolwork.
yeah.
So I told myself, no, let's see if we could do this for the rest of the year. And then I haven't went back since. I mean, I still struggle sometimes, but like, I haven't went back since.
There was a guy that sat right here last term where Victoria was, and he was like, he was either, I think it was right here, and he's like, he said he was high all the time, and he was super functional. But he said if he got thrown a curveball, because he was high, he'd be befuddled and confused. But he said if it was the same thing day in and day out, he was able to function.
I think like high functioning matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like before I used to be able to like do my homework, do my laundry, like do everything, and I was like, okay, the day's over, guys. What do I do?
Yeah.
But then like I have some friends who like just fall asleep or like they'll eat a lot.
Yeah.
And they'll go to bed and be like, I can't do this right now.
Yeah. Makes everybody differently. But alcohol is a more dangerous drug between the two. Alcohol is like literally like poison.
It is.
So
Yeah, don't scientists say like, why are you guys
Like-
drinking this?
like if you're picking, pot's safer. Not that you should necessarily do it, but like it's
Is there a
safer.
study that says it helps cancer patients?
It helps cancer patients with appetite. Might be a COVID blocker potentially because there's been a couple studies. Like that's still unclear, but possibly. So like it is used medicinally. So. I knew of the study in 2022. I was very sick. I microdosed a bunch of CBD, and you know what? The virus went away. So, just saying.
It's anecdotal.
I was trying to be a scientist, guys. Trying to be a scientist. So control processes, driving, paying attention, carrying out conversation, control processes, automatic processes. Any examples of that? That's where you've like overlearned it. The first example I can give you would probably be like driving or English. No one's walking out of the room forgetting, and you kind of just speak as you think. What do you got?
No, I forgot.
Oh, sorry.
I was right at the top of my head. I was like,
That's
not
called
paying
the,
attention to what you're
that's called a tip of the tongue phenomenon. I'll probably come back to you. Tip of the tongue.
And then it comes back. You're right, because I'll be in the middle doing something else like, this is what it's called, and then I write it down.
It's an example of automatic,
Processing.
like you knowing where you park, like having that, like you get out of here, you know where the parking lot is. You don't really think much about it. You just go.
Yeah.
So could you say like an automatic process because you like your logins to school?
Yep. That literally happened to my boss recently. She got locked out of her phone, and she kept trying the
The
thing and thinking of.
narcissist one?
No, the one that's actually nice, who supervises her, who's like a really good human being that I wish would just fire her. But whatever. So she was locked out of her phone, and she kept trying. It was an Android, which iPhone's clearly better. No, I mean, just my opinion. Android still makes a great system. I had bad luck with Androids. So it was that thing where and she couldn't figure it out. She couldn't figure it out for like hours, and then she wasn't thinking about it, and she just went like this, with like muscle memory, and she unlocked her phone, and she was going to have to like go to like the carrier. It's an automatic process.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying for automatic yeah.
Oh yeah, because I've been locked out of my Apple ID. You know how Apple IDs are so like they used to be so tough. You have to
Yeah.
go through so many, and then like I just picked up my phone. I was like,
And you
I
weren't
didn't
even
realize it until I was like, wait, I can actually.
Yeah, you weren't thinking about it. Yeah. What do you got, James?
That's how it is when I'm logging in my laptop for work. Like I have a password on it.
Yeah.
On my laptop. So I'll be like in the morning, I'm like trying to figure it out. I'm like, damn, I can't figure it out. Oh, an hour later, I just like, I'm in.
Yeah. It's almost like the muscle
Thinking
memory.
about it, she's like,
Yeah.
Is it like where like if you think about it, you mess up on it because like I be putting passwords like that, but like the second I think about it, I'm like, what was the number again? Or I just be like muscle memory, like oh, it's this right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like your brain knows, but it doesn't know. But that's something that separates us. Because we also have metacognition, where you can think about your own thinking, and you can analyze how you're thinking about something. Metacognition.
That is what I do every single day of my life.
Yeah, that's where you think about, like, you might think about your behavior or how you think about something. That's metacognition.
That's what I
Yeah.
do well, unknowingly, but then I'll just like be like, people, why am I acting like this? And I'll
Yeah.
be thinking, that's so weird.
Huh.
Getting so much clarity from this class.
Sweet. We have sleep, which is really important, guys. It cements memory. You need 7 to 9 hours a night of sleep to be successful. If you have 4 hours or less, you are showing up psychologically speaking drunk or high to life. 4 hours or less is the equivalent of that. And 400 milligrams of caffeine a day is your maximum before you risk heart palpitations. And caffeine does not stave it off forever. Your circadian rhythm comes from the 2 Latin words circa, which means about, and diem, which is day, which is controlled by the hypothalamus. Also, melatonin. Melatonin is a sleepy chemical, and I would not get prescription melatonin because you'll get an immunity to it, like tolerance over time. I would just, there's more of it when it's dark out than when it's light out. So like I have blackout curtains, so like it'd be like 12 in the afternoon and my room's dark. It makes it easier to sleep, melatonin. Microsleep, you got to be careful of that. That's not actually a sleep disorder. It's a symptom of a sleep disorder. Microsleep is when you're driving and you fall asleep for a fraction of a second to 30 seconds with your eyes open, and you could potentially hallucinate, not because you ingested anything fun, because your brain is compensating for your lack of the hypnagogic state where you're dreaming. Your brain's like I hallucinated the deer from like maybe me to one of you guys, like from like very little sleep around age 18, and I had almost no sleep. What were you saying, Ziki?
With your eyes open, you can sleep with your eyes open.
It's called
So I'm
microsleep.
saying that I think that's what happened to me.
That's probably what happened to you with the accident.
Because I remember there was a biker, and I said hi to the biker.
Yeah.
Next second, I was in the dish, and
Yep.
the biker said, "What happened?" So like,
Microsleep. You could have slept for 2 seconds because your brain's making up for it. We need sleep, and it also cements memory. So if you're trying to study for a test and you stay up all night, that doesn't help you cement memory. Sleep is incredibly important. I did like 10 hours last night. 7 to 9 is what you need usually. I was a little sleep deprived. I may or may not have gone to the bar on Thursday night, so whatever. Because I'm a human being. Like,
Everybody else.
yeah.
Wait, isn't there such thing as
Yeah.
oversleeping?
Yeah, you don't want to start getting like 11, 12, 14.
And
You
that
want, like,
doesn't cement memory if you oversleep?
yeah, that can be unhealthy. You want about 7 to 9 for most adults is 7 to 9 hours of sleep a
But
night.
isn't the quality of sleep
Quality of sleep matters too.
So if you're getting 7 or 9 hours of sleep, but your quality of sleep is
High,
trash.
then that's not going to help you. Yeah.
Wait,
Quality
is
of sleep.
Is it easier to pull an all-nighter when you're younger?
Yes.
Probably.
Save my life now.
Okay,
I
right.
can't.
Probably, but you're not invincible. Like
When I was
physi-
younger, I used to pull all-nighters all the time, and then I tried pulling one the other night, and like, I
You felt
did,
bad.
I tried doing it before, but I couldn't do it. But this time I was really determined, and so I did it. And the day after, like, I went to USC to visit my friends, and like while I was there, like, I thought I was losing it. I think I kept
Yeah.
my girls
I think we have to think about it like the phone battery. If you let it die all the way, the next time you fully charge, it won't last the same.
Yeah,
So-
there you go.
So that's the
That's
way you have
sports
to
is
think
too,
about it.
yeah.
If you really deprive yourself from energy and just, it's like stay awake as much as you can, the next time you actually fall asleep and you wake up again, you will have less energy than the next day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like for example, I work night shift. Like after over here, I'm going to
Okay.
work because I work night shift. But when I don't work, I usually fall asleep like at 12 a.m. But it's weird because when I'm working, I don't feel the necessity of sleeping. But sometimes my schedule sleep is like so weird and so bad because some days I can sleep like the full night, but sometimes I cannot fall asleep until 6 a.m. because it's when I get off from work.
It's your circadian rhythm.
Habit. Yeah.
So it's your habit and what you're used to, and then the brain actually makes you tired at certain times. Like,
I used to work at night too.
yeah.
And it was like that. Like I used to, my first work was like 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. So I got used to that 4 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And then for some reason there was a problem and I had to work, stay all the way from 4 p.m. all the way to 7 a.m. Like it was a full double shift.
Yeah.
Yeah, like after that, you don't know, your body doesn't know what to do. Cause like you can't fall asleep again. You can't fall asleep because it's not time to sleep for you.
Yeah. Yeah, but it also can affect cognition, like your ability to process information. Like you might be like a bit of a zombie if you have less sleep.
Yeah, sometimes when I get off from work, like maybe 5 a.m., I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I should be driving.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm getting home. And sometimes I'm driving, but I don't know that I'm driving.
You have
Like,
like no sense of awareness.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or are you aware that you're not aware?
Yeah. Yeah. When I first moved here, I drove Uber to survive. There were a couple times I was like, I had worked like 12 hours, and I'm like, I have to drive home, and I was like, am I going to be able to drive home? Because I had to drive home like 45 minutes to an hour. So I was up in like Buffalo Grove. So, but I have mad respect for that job because I mean, like,
No, but it teaches you the value of a dollar.
it teaches you the value of a dollar for sure.
I think everybody should know that.
I'd work 6, 7 days a week, sometimes 5, 6, 7 days, but I wouldn't go home until I had $300 in my pocket every day. It's like 80 grand a year. Like it was pretty solid. But minus expenses. No, I think it compromised my health a little bit because like eating was hard and breaks were hard and bio breaks were hard. Like that was difficult. But I could bring in like a decent amount of money, like 6, 7 grand a month, like before expenses. But I would probably never do it again unless I absolutely had to. But I'm probably more fearless because I'm a guy. But there are definitely people like drove around that had like mental health issues. There was one guy that like got in my car and he's like, "Do you know who I am?" And I should have been like, "Get the fuck out of my car." But I was naive. And he was really drunk. He was like a semi-famous semi-pro soccer from like South America, and he was mad that I didn't know who he was. And then he convinced himself in the car that I must be part of the CIA or the FBI, which, you know how pissed off Americans would be if that was actually a thing? Paying random Uber drivers to be in the CIA or FBI, we'd be so pissed. We'd be like, what, are you stopping crime? And then he wouldn't get out of my car, and it was like a really dark street, and he was taller than me, so I couldn't take him down. Like, if I had to like fight the
What do
guy.
you do in that instant?
He's like, show me your ID, because he wanted to see my CIA or FBI badge, make sure you're paying attention to the story, right? So the weirdo ended up, he's like, can I take a picture of your ID? I'm like, no, we're not doing identity theft. So he took a picture of the back of my neck and got out of my car. I should have called the police. It was like weird. It was like a
You
real.
took a picture of the back of your neck.
And took out of the car because I think he was trying to take a picture of the ID or something.
Oh.
I was like, oh, you weirdo. And I shut the app off and went home. It was like weird.
I would have quit. I would never been back.
Well, sometimes when you're trying to support people you care about and you're in a relationship, you do what you have to do. So. I had one job online when I got to Illinois that doesn't pay the bills. Does everyone have that? Any thoughts on which one makes more sense? Which theory?
I think the first one makes sense.
I think it was the second
The
one.
second one makes
Maybe the first one, the first humans.
Sure.
Were based on that, but.
Nowadays, it's
honestly,
restorative.
The stuff that can kill us doesn't need to chase us like that.
Yeah.
Isn't there toxic like buildup in like your brain
Yeah.
when you sleep? It like helps clean that out or something.
Yeah.
Like
Where do you have more mental activity, guys?
Your sleep.
Your brainwaves, they measure them, they're more, and they're you still have brainwaves when you're awake, but not like when you're asleep.
So, I mean, you probably like might not be able to answer this, and this might be like a whatever question. But like when you're having a dream and people that you never spoke to are in your dream, like what does it mean? I don't like to overanalyze my dreams, so I'm not gonna ask Siri this, but like, do you have like a alternative answer?
So that's coming. We might get to it today, or we might get to it next week, depending on what. Because I know we got maybe 5 left. Dreams are supposed to be random. They're supposed to be random things and events from life, and you dream in fragments. However, when we talk about things like psychology, sometimes it leans heavier into the abstract. Like, for example, you said people you haven't seen. I had a dream quite a few years ago about, and I think it actually was a premonition of the pandemic. That's what I figured out that I think it was. I think that's what it was. I'm not sure. I'll tell you why. It was randomly going to Sweden. Of all places.
Did you go?
I never went to Sweden, but a couple days later, a close friend of mine, she says to me, she's like, dude, what's up with Sweden? And I'm like, I know I had this dream. And then she interrupts me and she tells me the dream because she was in the dream also, and so were some other people in the friends group. I can't explain how that happens other than it's possibly a spiritual experience, at least from my own truth, because it doesn't make sense scientifically for that to happen unless like it was telepathy or something, which isn't that far-fetched for electrical chemical systems, but something was going on. Sweden was the first country to declare themselves COVID-19 free. So that's why I think it's related, maybe. Maybe it was something about which vaccination I got. I'm not sure. I haven't fully figured the Sweden thing out. I'm still stumped. I'm still stumped because I think it was significant. Or you have a dream where it's so real, or you have a dream that, like, I used to work in a highly toxic place in sales, and I had a dream about a lead to call, and I remembered the next day to call the lead, and I found the lead in the system, out of 700 leads, and I called that lead and signed that lead up. I can't explain that. I had a dream maybe 6-8 months ago that I called in, that I was getting up late and I couldn't text or email my bosses or anything, which is absurd because you totally can. There's these things in your dreams that like don't make sense, but you always agree with them. You never even question it. Like if it was reality and you're like, I can't text or call, you'd be like, there's no way. Like, or send an email. So in my dream, I'm late. And then I wake up and it's like 6:30. I'm like, oh, thank God, a little bit of anxiety, but now I get to work. So I go to work. Now, today, I remember it was a Monday. Went to my day job, and then I went to College DuPage, and I came out here. That's usually a lot of times what my Monday looks like. But I got some distressing news about my dad's health because, like, he's overweight. He's not taking high blood pressure medication. I keep telling him he needs to walk, and now he's been slipping a little bit. And I'm like, I want you to live a long time, Dad. I want you to get a few more decades, but I don't know I'm not sure if he's going to, just because he's not following medical advice. So I was stressed out, and I was leaving College DuPage, and muscle memory, I put in my home address accidentally instead of Waubonsee. So I'm going on the freeway. I'm like, this shit don't make sense. I'm sure this is the wrong path. And then I look at my GPS, and it's routing me home. So I called the police here and I was like, go tell the students I'm coming. And they're like, no problem. They never told you guys. And I got here at like 7. Like I got here like crazy late, but you all waited for me, different group of students. I got to Aurora, and where I would have driven through about a few minutes earlier, there was literally like a good block or two that was blocked off by police, and I would have drove through whatever that thing was. And I didn't. And the thing in the dream kind of came true because I was late to work, but it was job 3 of the day. And I'm like, was that a premonition? Was that God protecting me? Like, I cannot,
Toast theory is what they call
I
it.
can't explain it. I can't explain it at all. So, and those are the brain waves that we have for various forms of our sleep. So I don't know. I don't know if there's a clear answer to your question, but I like to think of the universe as telling you something, God, universe, whatever you all believe in, and it's repeating itself to you, or it's real vivid. Maybe, just maybe, you just might want to pay attention. That's what I like. That's what I think. We'll come back to this next week. No homework except connect at this point. And I'll see you guys next week. If you have something urgent, talk to me on the way out. Otherwise, call, text, or email me.
So chapter 5 is what we're doing.
Yep.
For next week,
Yep.
we have it done, right?
Yeah.
Just